It's time we do this.
Yeah, it's that time of the week where we do this thing, our little podcast, Mike and Molson Mangle the News. And there's always plenty to talk about. Let's face facts. It's ever changing. Aren't they going to meet this Friday? Isn't the
Oh,
president going to
yeah, that's
meet?
right.
Yeah.
And I,
He was
and I
rich.
was laughing because I guess they didn't realize that it's also tourist season in Alaska, and so they're having trouble getting everybody up there.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I was just confused. I just thought he would be confused. Like, I'm glad they didn't say they're going to meet in St. Petersburg because isn't that also Russia and
Oh,
in
right. Yeah.
Florida? And that would have been a real big scheduling mess. One of them would have been there, one would have been the other one. And then they're like, where are you at? I don't know where you're at, that kind of thing. So, back and forth we go.
You kind of half expect Trump at some point to go, "Hey, you want Alaska? It's closer to you than it is to me. Just take this.
Well, and
We'll
that's what
call it
people are
even."
wondering. Yeah, that's what people are wondering when he's like, there's going to be some land trading, exchanging. It's like, oh, Jesus. Did he already just give it away? Just like, it's cold. No one likes it. Just bears, big bears, don't like bears. So here you go. Let's make it all better. So
Well,
we'll see
welcome to
what
the
happens with that.
Absolutely. Welcome to the program, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, and you are welcome to comment along as we go, and of course, always call in on the official Monkey line 707-4-MONKEY 707-466-6539.
Can I say quickly before we move on,
What you
I
got
would
there?
just like to give a shout out to Liquid Death, one of my favorite products. If they would like to sponsor it, the show, that'd be awesome. I purchased this particular can because I thought it was going to be grape flavored.
That's what
I
I would
saw
have
the purple
assumed.
can and I'm like, cool. So I open it up, take a sip, sparkling water, and it does not taste. I can't I can't pinpoint the flavor. I'm like, it's still delicious, but I couldn't pinpoint the flavor. So the wife tries it, and son of a bitch is if it isn't their version of Dr Pepper,
Oh,
and all for only 10 calories and still just sparkling water. I don't know how they do it. I know I'm selling my soul to the devil. That's within the details of the actual can, but do yourself a favor. If you're trying to wean yourself off of soda but still love some Dr Pepper, get yourself some Liquid Death.
okay. Yeah. I mean, that's obviously how you keep your figure. I can see.
Yes, exactly. Drinking all that aspartame with all the caffeine. That's how I do that. And like Liquid Death.
Do you sit down to pee?
No, because I'm a man. Next.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
No. Well, I mean, that's the right answer, right?
Well, I have read scientifically that you are, in fact, everyone is supposed to sit down because of the muscles involved and everything else. Of like when you're standing, it's too much pressure and you're pushing too much. And like, so you're naturally actually supposed to be sitting because that's just the way everyone's supposed to go. I don't subscribe to that particular. I
To
feel
pee,
bad for, yes, for
it's better.
everything.
I
That
don't think that's right.
that's what some scientists have said for the pelvic floor muscles and everything else for lack of deterioration. Like by standing, you're having to force more to come out and jettison to land. So it's better just to sit and it just kind of you don't have to push as much to get the flow. I don't know. It's science.
Yeah, you shouldn't be
Don't look at
pushing
me that
anything.
way. I'm not the one that did. I didn't do that survey. Don't look at me. I'm with you. You don't sit
All
down to
right.
pee.
Well, here's what the folks at YouGov found when they did this survey. The results show that British men are among the least likely to sit down for a wee, with 33% saying they've never done it, tied with Poland. Only 24% of British and 27% of Polish men say they do or almost always or most times.
Hmm.
Now, I like the
I
way
don't
that
know if I.
the. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead. I was gonna say, I don't know if I've ever willingly passed the first, because there's that learning curve for men, right? Where you're sitting down when you're potty training, right? And eventually you get that chance to stand up and then you kind of never look back, at
Yeah.
least in my opinion. So I don't know if past that point, if I've ever willingly been like, I'm going to go ahead and sit down this time to pee.
YouGov asked this question: thinking about times where you go to the toilet only to urinate, i.e., having a pee, not also having a poo. I like that they call it having a pee. I'm gonna go have a pee, like I'm gonna have a baby.
Why? Yeah, exactly. Instead of taking it, I'm going to leave it. We should be saying leave a pee instead. I'm going to take a pee. But anyway, I digress.
Mexican men are most likely of the countries surveyed to say they never sit down, just 21%. In Germany, right there at the top, not only are they the most
Wow.
likely to sit down, they even have a derogatory word for it. You're a sit spinkler. A
Yes,
sit
you are.
spinkler.
You're sprinkling while you sit.
Which literally translates to someone who sits down to pee, but also is used to imply a man who is either wimpy or effeminate. You sit spinkler.
Sprinkler. It is sit sprinkler. But look at how many every time. 40% of respondents in Germany on a sit sprinklers there. I'm not going to judge. If you want to sit down to pee as a dude, that's your prerogative. I just find it easier to not have to do that.
Obviously you can judge. They've got a word for it. Sit spinkler.
Sit spinkler. Fine. If you're a sit spinkler, then yes, I will judge you very harshly.
You can sit down if you want to be a sit spinkler. I don't know. It's none of my business. There are
None of my
signs
business.
in Germany telling men to sit down to pee, and standing to urinate is often seen as antisocial. It shouldn't be social anything.
Right.
It shouldn't be
Correct.
social, antisocial. There's no social. There's no social.
No. It's get in, get out, get back to your whatever you're doing.
Here in the U.S. of God Bless America, 23% of men always or often sit down, compared to 31%.
So 1 out of every 4 almost?
Yeah. That's an interesting number.
So if you're out with friends, that boggles my mind. So 4 friends go out for a night of drinking as dudes, and you're telling me on average, when they run into the men's room, even if the urinals are available there, one of the guys is going to go sit and pee.
You're always with a sit spinkler and you don't even know it.
There's a sit spinkler in your group, and if it's not, if you don't know who it is, it may be you.
It might be you.
You may be the sit spinkler.
Older men.
I didn't know I was hanging
Germany,
out with the sit spinkler.
I know. There's always a sit spinkler in every group.
Yeah.
Older German men over 55 are particularly likely to always sit down, 49%, compared to 28% of 18 to 34-year-olds. So that's how that shakes out. Ha!
Yeah. Well played. Well played. I feel terrible for women because, like, even though they're the cleanlier species, like having to sit down, like that's half the reason why I would never choose to sit down is because the public restroom situation as dudes, because we just go in there and use it as a urinal. Let me ask you this, and comment below or call in a monkey line, wherever you're calling from. As a man, and all the urinals are taken, right? Maybe you go to a restaurant, there's only 2 of them, or there's 3, and people are standing there, and you go into the actual stall, and you only got a 1. You don't have to 2. You just got a 1. Do you pull the seat up, or do you just say, I have enough aim, and you just go with the seat down?
No, I don't know. I put the seat up.
You take the time to put the seat up?
Take what time?
Now all of a sudden you got to grab a piece of toilet paper, got to use that to lift the lid, and then you got to throw the toilet paper in there, then you got to put it back down.
You're making this really complicated.
Yeah, no. I do not lift the seat. I'm one of those jerks. I'm just going to go in there. I got good enough aim. I'm going to take care of my business.
I like the gray number there in each of the countries that is listed as don't know. So 6% of the people go, I don't know. I went to the I don't know what I did. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe I did. I don't know. I don't know what I did.
That is an odd. You're right. That is an odd answer to the question of do you sit down to pee? I don't know. Ask me what day it is. I'm not quite sure. Just came out of there. So interesting. The fact that Germans 4 out of 10.
That's right. And of course, there's this classic, of course.
Where do you keep the nets that you put on the bottom of guys' balls to stop them from dunking in the water?
What?
What do you mean, what? Where do you keep the nets that you put on the bottom of guys' balls to stop them from dunking in the water?
That's what the Germans are asking. I'm a sit spinkler. I need the ball net.
I don't want my balls to get wet, so I sit while I pee. I'm a sit sprinkler. Gotta love Family Guy. Here's a situation where a gentleman was driving in Nebraska, and all of a sudden he is towing two motorcycles, and the trailer that he has, the trailer hitch, doesn't have any functioning lights on the flatbed. So because it's so late at night, deputies there in Nebraska say, "Hey, we're gonna have to pull this guy over." So they attempt to pull the man over, doesn't stop immediately, continues driving, then finally turns on an industrial highway. The truck was hauling a couple of motorcycles. When deputies approached the vehicle, they found the pickup's driver, later identified as 47-year-old, as you see there, Kip Paulston.
Kip
Boy,
Polston.
that's quite the name there. Guy came straight from the country club, old Kip Paulston, and he was completely nude, using a pair of pants to cover himself.
You name your kid Kip Polston, you're going to end up with a kid that drives around nude at 47 years old.
So he's nude, but my thing is he's using the pair of pants to cover himself.
Right.
So he's nude but modest, knowing that what he's doing is wrong, but still like, I just got to let it all hang out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
When they asked him, why the hell were you naked? He said, quote, "I'm hot and I'm allergic to my own sweat."
That is a fascinating excuse. Did he have that in his non-existent back pocket? If the cops pull me over, this is what I'm going to say?
If not, that's some quick thinking. And because at that point you go, is that really a medical thing where you can be allergic to your own sweat? And is someone going to call you out on that if in fact you do get pulled over and you go, "I'm allergic to my own sweat. Sorry, I can't be sitting here in sweaty clothes. I got to be nude driving home in my truck. I'm Kip Polston."
I mean, it's August in Nebraska. You're probably sweating.
Right.
Nude or otherwise.
Because if you're allergic to your own sweat, just because you're nude, you still may be sweating.
Right.
So I don't follow the logic of your argument.
How do you get to 47 with a lifetime of being allergic to your own sweat?
I have a feeling I don't think he's actually allergic to his own sweat. He also told the cops that he had an expired or possibly suspended driver's license. So they come up and be like, "Yeah, I don't know. He's one of the he's a I don't know, sit sprinkler." He's like, possibly suspended, maybe, I don't know. They do find out that he did have an expired driver's license. During the interaction, his alertness deteriorated rapidly, leading the deputy to initially request medical assistance. Do you think he was diving into the "I'm allergic to my own sweat" thing? Mm-hmm. It's like, see, this is what happens when I'm allergic to my own sweat. And so they're going to call medical assistance. Eventually, though, he hopped back to and told police that he had a pipe and a dab, which is slang associated with marijuana concentrates. A search was performed on the vehicle. You know, I got a little pipe and a dab.
Right. I was just at a Fish concert.
Yeah, correct. So they found a container with a substance believed to be THC concentrate, a marijuana water pipe, and a black pistol case containing a BB gun with obscured serial numbers, initially suspected to be a real firearm. Why are you crossing off the serial of a BB gun, Kip? Don't want him to know I have that.
And what, are those registered someplace?
I don't know. Do you have to register a BB gun?
Not to my knowledge. I'm picturing, you know how when you get pulled over and the cop kind of gingerly walks up to the side of the car and make sure there's nothing surprising him, and at some point, you know, as the cop is walking, he's going, "Ah, Christ, this guy's nude. Now I got to deal with this."
Mm-hmm. Yes, big time. And he's like, "Great, I drew the short straw tonight for Kip Polston."
Yeah.
The motorcycles were run through dispatch. One of the motorcycles was reported stolen and be used as evidence. The other one was registered to a different person, but was not listed as stolen. So one was stolen, one was not in his name, was in someone else's name, but not listed as stolen. So Kip Paulson has got a lot of charges he'll be facing, but you better not put him in a hot jail cell because, you know, he's going to get all naked and be like, "I'm allergic to my own sweat."
Yeah. Yeah, right. All the other prisoners are walking by going, how come Kip gets to sit in a nice air-conditioned room? Look, it's none of your business, but he is allergic to his own sweat. So just give, and he's sitting there just having a lemonade while they're all walking around in the sun.
Exactly, sweating their nuts off, literally.
That's not the only. It's August, and people are just losing their minds right now. We are in Florida now for a woman who was arrested for exposing herself at the. It's always at the Waffle House.
It really is.
Yeah. She was arrested after she exposed herself and danced in the parking lot. You're looking at Freedom Rider Zorbist.
What was that again?
Freedom Rider Zorbist showed up.
How old is Freedom Rider? Does it say?
It does not say how old Freedom Rider is.
I have a feeling. It's hard to believe. I feel that that's her real name, but continue with old Zorbus.
I mean, if she's if she's our age, she may have had some weird hippie parents.
Yeah, could be.
So she shows up at Waffle House early in the morning, and the manager said she was just behaving weird, and the manager said, "Get out." She left, comes back at about noon, and threatens to get a gun, shoot the manager and everyone in the restaurant. She then walked.
Not cool.
She then walked outside, quote, pulled down her pants, exposing her sexual organs, and started dancing around in the parking lot. She then went up to the manager, tried to grab him by the waffle.
By the sexual organs?
Yeah. He then tried to block her from coming inside the door, and she licked him on both sides of his face.
That's one of the creepier things you can do is just lick someone on the side of the... So you got a naked woman, smothered and covered, licking your face.
Witnesses say they were blocked and couldn't leave the Waffle House because of her dancing and that she was being very loud and causing a disturbance. I'm just going to sit down and have another pancake. Can I just do another plate of bacon or something while this settles down out here?
More coffee, please, because Freedom Riders out there really getting into it.
Oh, my God. Some crazy person licks you on your face. What do you do? What hospital do you go to get that flame boiled off of your face? What do you do?
Yeah, you have to go straight to the emergency room, get checked for rabies or whatever else it may be, and then hope to get a clean bill of health.
That sounds horrible. I mean, that is a lifetime of nightmares.
It is. Yeah. But here's the thing, right? As much as we're complaining, there is somebody out there, some guy that's like, what do these two complain about a naked woman licking their face? I'll live for that kind of stuff.
Because she's Freedom Rider Whitcomb or whatever. What was it?
Zombris, I thought, or whatever the hell her name was.
Yeah, because that's who's licking your face. That's
correct.
That's not okay.
No, that's not okay at all. It's never okay to randomly even in the throes of passion. I don't know if it's ever okay to lick someone's face. I feel like, for most part, in most situations, that's an instant let's pump the brakes on what's happening here, and let's readjust.
That's I mean, there's like tongue play, but then licking. I mean, it just implies dragging your tongue over somebody, and that just doesn't. I don't think anybody likes that.
There may be certain parts, but I'm sure I don't think the face. I don't think the face is a part where you go. If you're on the, I'll be generous. If you're on the third date, all right, and a makeout session is starting, and it's leading to other, and they pull the Freedom Rider and just like up one cheek and up the other cheek. You go, no, I'm not giving you a fourth date. This is a little too. You can't go full Freedom Rider.
No, you cannot. You can never do that. That's very off-putting.
You can't. Yes, very much so.
Oh, man.
Oh, God. Can never go full this guy either.
You can't.
Yeah, this particular DJ here who has done wedding receptions. His name is Anthony Smith. I don't really have his DJ name. It just says he's a party DJ. This guy was found on a Thursday afternoon. This wasn't even nighttime. This is just a random afternoon. This dude's out in a park, and he is wearing women's lingerie, the bottoms of which were of the thong variety, according to police reports, and left his genitals fully exposed. On top of that, he had fake breasts he was wearing, a wig of long black hair, a black mask around his face, a penis ring, and a black foxtail protruding from his posterior, which upon further examination turned out to be attached to a, quote, rectal plug that was inserted into his anus, as the cop said in the report. So
I'm glad they don't call
once
them
again,
that.
yes.
Yeah, I mean, butt plug is already weird, but to then say rectal plug, it's like, I don't want that. I really don't want that.
No, that's something you need to go to the hospital for if you got a rectal plug. You got to.
So he's dressed
get a
up
little
all
plugged up.
fancy. What was going on here?
Yeah, so he works, like I said, as a party wedding DJ. He tried to evade a cop who initially discovered him inside the park. The witness who dialed 911 to report a suspicious individual with his sexual organs exposed was in the park to pick up kids from a summer camp. Oh, no. Asked by police what was going on today, Smith reportedly said, quote, he suffers from some sort of sexual addiction and that engaging in lewd behavior arouses him. He added that this wasn't the first time he had a run-in with law enforcement for the same kind of behavior, according to a police report. Now, here's what Mr. Smith said the reason why he does what he does, okay? He says that he does this because pornographic materials do not suffice his sexual desires, but
he's way
he
past
does
that.
not. But he does not want to violate his morals by having sexual relations before marriage or by using a female, I should say, solely for sexual purposes.
I see.
He's got morals. I just want to walk around with my crank out wearing lingerie with a black wig with a foxtail up my butt, like a normal person does.
You got to let it out sometimes, man. This just starts building up, and next thing you know, Freedom Rider is licking your face.
Or this guy's walking by with his foxtail, being like what you see.
They're both in Florida. I'm sure they know each other.
They probably do. But I love his reasoning, his rationale of I have morals. I don't want to sleep with someone before marriage, but I have no problem going to a park where people maybe or might not be picking up their children in this getup, walking around doing that kind of thing, because that's perfectly fine, morally speaking. But having sex before marriage or using a female solely for sexual purposes, that's one step too far for Anthony Smith.
I mean, he does sound like the kind of person who watched about 70 more hours of porn than he should have, and his brain is just like completely toast. And it's like I've got to push it to the extreme. There's nothing left.
Yes, it seems like he's
let's
hit
get that
every
foxtail out. And
it seems like he's hit every category on Pornhub twice, just to make sure. And then it's like, well, nothing else to do. I gotta grab my mask and my foxtail, my lingerie, and go out to the park on this random Thursday afternoon.
He got to the page on Pornhub that very few people see, where it says, "There's nothing left. You've watched them all."
Correct. You need to get a life. He is charged. Oh, by the way, he was being held in advance of his court appearance earlier today. Oh, okay. So we'll maybe follow his story to see exactly what the penalty is for Mr. Smith.
All right,
Mr. Smith goes foxtailing. Yeah, we'll keep you updated.
Stay tuned to this and other across these three major networks for that. Let's talk 90s TV shows.
Yeah, so I happened upon this list from Screen Rant, and boy, do they use the term change the world that does some heavy lifting here.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I don't know if you could find 10 shows from a specific decade that could have changed the world. I think that's going a bit too far for me, but we can go through this list and your mileage may vary on it. Okay. So these are 10 TV shows from the 90s that changed the world. And I agree with a decent number of them. But there are some that I just don't feel were world changing, but you can have the argument and please chime in wherever you're watching from or in the comments below. So number 10 is already on the screen there, Twin Peaks. I don't have a point of reference, didn't watch it, but I would say it changed the landscape of television and changed a lot of what can be actually popular and commercial, I would say.
It was a brave move by ABC when they put it on, because it was, I think, 91-ish, something like that, when it debuted.
Yep, 1990 to 1991.
Yeah. And so when you think about all the other stuff that was on, that was, it's Full House and Urkel and, it's all that kind of stuff. And
Right.
then,
Correct,
you got this really freaky David Lynch story that went on. And it was one of those things where it's like, oh, you can do that on network television and people will be transfixed to it. And it was, it definitely was a moment. I think 2 years was all it could have lasted, because it is it's such an overwhelming thing. And by the end of the second year, I mean, that's when it was like really off the rails.
Like, am I
any
on
David
drugs?
Lynch. Yeah. But it did at least demonstrate that you can do this on TV.
Yeah, they said, although it was canceled after 2 seasons, it became a cult phenomenon, left an indelible mark on shows like Lost, Stranger Things, The Leftovers. And to your point, it showed that television didn't need to be spoon-fed to audiences and that sometimes the strangest stories leave the biggest impact. So yes, I agree. Number 10 on the list, I agree. Moving on to number 9 on this list of 10 shows from the 90s that changed the world, you see Beverly Hills 90210. I changed the world. I don't know if I agree with that. It definitely set a tone. It was like it took Saved by the Bell and made it into a drama, kind of. Right? Like Saved by the Bell was played for laughs. Saved by the Bell was like your after school special, played for laughs. 90210 came along, and I think 90210 was maybe a little bit even predated Saved by the Bell. But 902 came along, and actually, I think for the first time in a dramatic way, served a younger teen audience of like their own drama. Like dramas were usually just for adults. And yes, teens had shows like The Full House, like Family Matters, but they were, and Fresh Prince, but they were more comedies. They didn't have the drama built around it. Like
it was a
90210
nighttime soap opera for teens. Yeah, that I think that's a great way to describe it. And I might argue that it single-handedly gave the WB a reason to exist. It's like, oh, I'm going to make 17 other shows just like that and create a network.
That's very true. Because I mean, it did spawn. Yeah, you're right. One Tree Hill. You had the other, all the other. Oh, Dawson's Creek. Dawson Creek probably does not exist. So maybe they're onto something here with Screen Rant. With that, they said without 90210, the way for teen shows in the 90s and beyond, there would likely be no Dawson's Creek, The OC, or Riverdale. It proved that young audiences could carry a primetime drama and change how networks develop content for years. Number 8 on the list is, now I will say this, there is not a man watching among us or watching this quickie that has not at least watched 5 minutes of Charmed, whether it be in its initial run or now on constant repeats at 6 a.m. on TNT.
Yeah.
You're getting ready for work and you're a single man and you flip through, you're like, oh, there's Alyssa Milano. I want to see what she's up to.
And you're right. And 5 minutes is about all, because they're keeping their clothes on.
Like,
Never mind.
I got to get to work. So it started with Shannon Doherty, Holly Marie Combs, and Alyssa Milano, and then Rose McGowan took over for Shannon Doherty. I don't know if I would say change the world, but the argument that Screen Rant gives is that it was a revolutionary for how it centered female empowerment in a genre that typically didn't. Okay. So it was like a sci-fi type of show that was very female driven. The show's mix of magic, sisterhood, and serialized storytelling made it a trailblazer for shows like Supernatural, The Vampire Diaries, and even Marvel's WandaVision. They said running for 8 seasons, Charmed became the longest running hour-long series with female leads at the time.
8 seasons is impressive. That's a long time.
It is. It is impressive. And I think there was something to that. I still don't know if I would say it changed the world,
Right.
but it did do something to where it was female empowerment. So you had the ladies to watch it, and they knew what they were doing in the 90s along those lines of there is enough going on for guys that they will tune in as well
Mm-hmm.
and not realize they're getting a show about female empowerment. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Moving on.
Well, you talk
Moving
about
on
a
to number
show that has
7.
been on for. It's still on, isn't it?
Yes, but they say, well, now they have all the different ones. They're talking about just the regular Law and Order. Now
Okay.
they have SVU, and
And in
so
some
this is the original
variation,
Law and Order.
it's existed for 30 years.
Since 1990, it's
Wow.
been going on. I would say yes. I would agree that Law and Order did kind of change the world in the fact that there are so many other Boston legal. You have courtroom
Yeah.
dramas, JAG, NCIS, all the other ones that have come from Law and Order, Chicago PD, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
They say what
Right.
made Law and Order truly groundbreaking was its commitment to realism and structure. It brought a gravitas to network TV that felt fresh in a world of sitcoms and soapy dramas. So the grittiness factor of it. They said the show's legacy goes beyond its longevity. It influenced countless imitators and normalized the idea that TV could tackle serious, often uncomfortable topics without losing viewers.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Yeah. Because, I mean, there certainly have been other hour-long dramas and mysteries and cop shows and things like that. But you're right. That I think they dove into things that were ripped from the headlines, from what I understand.
Yes, these are ripped from the head, but the names have been changed to protect the innocent. ER comes in at number 6, and I would say yes to that. Like for me, my parents watched that growing up, and it's obvious without ER and its success, you don't get Grey's Anatomy and the myriad of other ones, even like The Pit now on HBO Max, of these hospital dramas.
And, I think it was such a juggernaut in that, and a lot of these shows have that, where it became a social experience. I mean, you
Yeah.
watched it and then talked about it a lot.
Yes.
And I think that was a new-ish thing for television.
Well, I think the water cooler is always there, but I think the other thing that they were willing to do on ER is go into, I don't want to say graphic, but they were taking you into the belly of the beast in a way that wasn't sanitized for television. It was
Correct.
like, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, but yes, and I guess the other thing about it was, and this was unique in the '90s as well, or started in the '90s, of having episodic shows that had a
Oh, okay,
story arc through the
within
seasons,
the season instead
as
of
opposed to a
yeah.
show that you can just drop in the middle, and whether it doesn't matter what season it is, it's entertaining by itself.
Yeah, they said ER influenced an entire generation of medical and workplace dramas, proved that audiences could handle intense pacing, moral ambiguity, and emotionally devastating storylines all within the same hour. For years, it was considered much watched TV, and its impact on serialized drama still reverberates. I didn't think about that, about the moral ambiguity of, you know, should we give this heart? Should you not do this procedure? Should you do this? Should you do that?
Hmm.
I didn't even think about that part of it. And the devastating storylines of knowing that not everyone's going to make it to the end of that episode. That
Right.
when a patient rolls in and they get you hooked with their emotional story, knowing there's a chance that you're going to have to deal with the grief of that patient not winning their battle.
They were okay with not having a happy ending. Cool.
Correct.
I'll check.
Yeah. Check indeed. Number 5, X-Files. I don't really have a point of reference. I didn't watch the X-Files much, but I can't go against the fact that it did change what, much like Twin Peaks was, it also showed that you can go into some really out there storylines of aliens and everything else and still prove to be a successful series.
The Fox network was still pretty young at that time.
Yes. Yes.
And so for them to have a breakout show that wasn't The Simpsons or wasn't in living color, um, really put them on the map. When I first started watching it, I was kind of, come on, these conspiracy theories, blah, blah, blah. And pretty soon you just go, oh, this is a really interesting story. And the conspiracy theories become secondary. And as it went through the years, it just became more and more, just became more and more compelling. And yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was dark. Who's the Gilligan? What's his name? Because same
David
guy who did
Duchovny?
no, but he went on to do Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
was his first. I can't think of his name. Vince Gilligan.
Chris, okay, yeah. And Chris Carter was the creator.
Hmm.
And so they said they said the thing about it was it treated genre TV with respect. It
Yeah,
used to be like when you get this kind of subject matter on TV, it'd be like a little bit on the goofy side, like Kolchak the Night Stalker, that kind of thing
yeah.
or whatever. But they treated it more with respect, and they said it ignited a cult following. Its DNA is everything from Fringe to Stranger Things, and it helped lay the groundwork for genre storytelling as prestige television. The truth wasn't just out there, it was on prime time. So
I,
yes, I would
and
agree
it's
with
a
you there, Sly.
show that people still, new generations discover it and dig it just as
Yes.
much as the people in the 90s did. It's not terribly dated. I mean, there are some very uniquely 90s things about it, but for the most part, it holds up pretty well.
Yeah, ran from 93 to 2002. So I would agree that X-Files did change the world. Coming in at number 4 on their list, Seinfeld from 1989 to 1998. And to be honest, as someone who watched it, I would say you can't deny that it did change the world. The fact that it was must-see television, and it was the first time I felt, and I think a lot of people did, that it was a show that involves such mundane situations that we all find ourselves in.
Think of the vocabulary from Seinfeld that still exists and is battered around today in regular conversation, from yada 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 to you're a double dipper, I mean, just all these things that they invented,
No
and
soup for
with
you.
no, what's that? No soup for you.
No
Yeah,
soup for you.
yeah. Um, and they didn't do it. They didn't set out and say we're going to invent a catchphrase, but it
No.
just had that effect on people. She's a two-face. She's got weird hands. I mean, there's
Oh,
all
that's
these.
great. Yeah. Dolores.
Yeah.
Like, is your name Mulva? Like,
um,
oh, Greg. Yeah. Greg comments shrinkage. There was shrinkage.
yeah.
Like that's it. That's another great one. And even a couple nights ago, I have some family friends in town, and we're playing a version of Trivial Pursuit. And I still had to say, "Oh, I'm sorry." The correct answer was the Moops.
Yeah.
The Moops. I mean, there's still that
Yeah.
that still gets referenced to this day.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, you can go on and on
Oh
and on.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it's so yeah, it's and I think it really, there had been other TV shows with comedians as the centerpiece, Cosby, obviously. Um,
Hmm.
but I think Seinfeld really kicked off and showed this is how you use a stand-up in a sitcom.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what they said. They said what made it felt groundbreaking was it tossed aside heartwarming endings and life lessons in favor of awkward conversations and selfish behavior.
Hmm. Right.
And it's like without Seinfeld, you're probably not going to get It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Arrested Development, all those kind of irreverent, just not goofy, but awkward, like comedy, like Seinfeld is.
And Larry David's rule of what was it? No morals, no hugging. I mean, you couldn't ever have, they could never learn from their idiocy.
Correct.
That was a hallmark of the way it was written, is that nobody became better. Which the finale of Seinfeld is very controversial,
It
but
is.
it buttoned it up and showed exactly what they wanted to show, is that these people learned nothing.
Nothing.
They're sitting in a jail in purgatory, and they've learned nothing. And I think that's what made that thing work for the people who felt that it worked.
Right. Yeah. You know what? I never really looked at the finale in that way before, but you're right. Knowing that now, that's the perfect finale
Yeah, I think
because
so.
these people never learned. And the whole premise of the show was never really had a happy ending. So why would you then change everything at the end just to make people feel better about themselves?
Yeah, no,
Number
no,
three, and
nobody redeeming in that show. That's for sure.
no. Number three on the list. Interesting to place this high. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Talk about WB.
Yeah.
And I think part of it, the reason why it changed the world may have been it kind of combined because it came out, I watched it. It came out in 1997. So it kind of took things from X Files, from Charmed, uh, and from like 90210, and that you had a teenager in high school dealing with teen drama, but also
Hmm.
monsters and things like from X Files with a female lead on top of it. So it was like almost the next generation and the next step of what was started by a few of the shows before it on this list.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I never really got into it, but I recognize it as its own huge bulwark for sure.
Yeah, it was a metaphor-rich storytelling. They said it was innovative and embraced serialized arcs long before it was standard to develop a mythology as complex as any prestige drama. It became a template for blending genre and character-driven drama. It proved the way, I should say, paved the way for everything from Veronica Mars to The Witcher, and even Wednesday probably has a lot to do with Buffy the Vampire Slayer as well.
Hmm.
So, okay, another one that I wasn't sold on, but now talking it out, okay. This one I'm not, though. How did Friends change the world, Johnny? Would you lay it on me? It was never for me. I never really cared for Friends. Like, I was a Seinfeld person, not a Friends person. They were
Yeah,
on the same network around the same time. Friends went 94 to 2004. And I don't know. It wasn't for me. I understand it was a cultural phenomenon, but I don't know if it changed the world.
yeah. No, I don't even know that it necessarily changed television. I mean, it was look, it was well written. It was on for 11, was it 11 years, something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
10 years. Yeah.
and it was definitely, it became episodic, and you became invested in Ross and Rachel, and you became invested in the
But
soap, the subtle soap opera.
that
But I
just
don't.
was a play on Sam and Diane. That wasn't breaking any ground. That was Sam and Diane from Cheers.
Yeah.
The
I
will they, won't they, for the longest time.
So I mean, as a monster show, I mean, it was a pivotal show of the decade, I guess. But changed the world.
It's kind of, I feel like Friends the same way I feel about Hootie and the Blowfish. Just because it was popular doesn't mean it changed. Like Hootie and the Blowfish was a giant band in 1995. Did they change the face of music?
No.
No. But I mean, it's comfort for some people. It's vanilla. It's not, it's not going to be terrible. Their argument is, unlike many sitcoms before it, Friends blended ongoing storylines with laugh out loud humor.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, Ross and Rachel's Will They Won't They. It was sleek, emotional, and aspirational, particularly how it portrayed 20 somethings navigating life, love, and rent in New York City. And it influenced massive hits like How I Met Your Mother, New Girl, Big Bang Theory, and countless others. I guess,
I'm
but
not seeing the comparison. I'm not seeing the comparison with those
I
shows.
I was gonna say I can see maybe How I Met Your Mother in the fact that they were a group of friends in New York, but I don't know if you needed friends to make How I Met Your Mother. Right? The storyline's vastly different. How I Met Your Mother is telling the story of How I Met Your Mother.
I think so.
Big Bang Theory, I don't really see. I mean, the casting may be the same of a group of friends living in an apartment across from each other kind of thing, and the Leonard and Penny will they, won't they? But I don't know. This is the one on this list, even though they have it so high, that I just go, I can't say change the world. It was a
No,
massive hit and important to pop culture, but I can't say it changed the world.
I'm with you on that one.
And number one, The Simpsons,
The Simpsons.
1989 to the present. Yeah, it changed. It changed everything. Let's just face facts. It changed everything.
Hmm.
It changed the way we look at the family dynamic. It was the new age. dopey dad, the eat my shorts, the Bart Simpson craze, the fact that you can have an animated show that would be geared kind of towards adults in prime time on a
Yeah.
major network. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on of all that it did.
It does, yeah. And you think back to 1989 and the reaction to The Simpsons. You would have thought like The Sopranos was being shown on PBS or something, in place of
Oh
Sesame
God.
Street. I mean, the controversy around Bart saying "Eat my shorts" is it was bananas. I mean, it was you would have thought it was filth.
True to this day, I will still meet people, right? If I'm meeting new people, and the Simpsons are so ubiquitous now that you just quote so much of it.
Mhm.
I mean, there's so many quotable lines, and I will always meet those people more than I thought there was. Of, oh, we weren't allowed to watch that when it came out. Like my parents banned us from watching The Simpsons,
Yeah.
and it always it baffled me of like, why? Like what was so terrible about The Simpsons that your parents banned you from watching it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And especially when you look back on it from today's lens,
Truth.
maybe because it was animated and we associate cartoons with kids, and so are we attracting kids to this, edgy comedy where the dad is strangling the son, and and everybody's drunk and
Because Elmer Fudd never strangled Bugs Bunny or vice versa. Like seriously.
no, I know, I
They
agree.
said The Simpsons changed the rules for animation, paving the way for South Park, Family Guy, Futurama, and more. Proved cartoons were just for kids, and that comedy could be sharp, smart, and scathing, all in the same breath.
Hmm.
Its shadow looms large over all modern television, and its place in the most influential '90s TV show is hard to argue against. Correct. I would agree wholeheartedly. Excellent one at number one, because if anyone on this list truly changed the world, it would be The Simpsons.
Yeah. And I think you could probably do this with just about every decade of
Yeah.
finding at least 10 shows that were pivotal, changed things, set a new course. Um, but I think what's interesting is when you think about the 90s, was that the last network decade? Was that the last time,
Oh, yes.
before we got into shows being on HBO and shows being, just all these other options to watch serial television. Um, I don't know.
I
It
mean,
may very well have been the last decade to have that weight of television
I
before things
think,
really started to get splintered.
yep, wholeheartedly. I would agree wholeheartedly. I would be you'd be hard pressed to name a network show, especially this year, that people actually watch all
Mhm.
at the same time and discuss. Like network television just kind of just sits there in an abyss anymore.
Yeah, I mean they existed, of course. You mentioned, How I Met Your Mother and Big Bang, and those that were in the
Modern
mid
Family.
Modern Family and those kinds of things. Malcolm in the Middle, Office, and those
Yeah.
things that would be associated with early 2000s or teens. Um, but then the cable networks really started stepping up their game and getting into the act. And suddenly you got The Walking Dead, and you've got these shows that were showing up on non-network things, and they were really, really taking chances.
You mentioned Sex and the City, Sopranos, like the HBO run that they
Absolutely.
had. The Wire, right? Everyone
Yeah.
talked about The Wire. You also mentioned Breaking Bad earlier on AM. I mean, so you're right. It kind of, I think the '90s was the last decade where the network anchored and had that many shows that changed the world within their purview, and not in cable or in subscription based places.
That's a good list. I like that list.
Yeah, I did too. Fun conversation.
And this may be the last year ever, according to
Yeah,
Harvard. Check this
yeah.
out.
I read this earlier today. This is crazy.
There is something flying through the solar system, and no one's entirely sure what it is. And there are some physicists who are saying, hey, this might not just be a frozen rock. 3I Atlas was first spotted on the 1st of July, and it is way the hell out there, 420 million miles from the sun, and it is cruising at 130,000 miles an hour. Researchers are saying that it is roughly 7 miles across and 3.5 miles wide, or it could be as small as 1,000 feet. So it's somewhere in between 7 miles and 1,000 feet.
There's a 30% chance of rain today, or 70% chance of sun. I don't know.
Yeah. Now enter a Harvard physicist who said this object may not be natural. In a recent blog post on Medium, he floated the possibility that it could be some form of alien spacecraft, even speculating that it might reach Earth by Christmas, and this could have sobering conclusions. The consequences, should the hypothesis turn out to be correct, could potentially be dire for humanity and would require defensive measures to be undertaken. Other Harvard scientists have weighed in on this as well, and why they are convinced that it's something dangerous or non-natural, I don't know.
Possibly. Well, they're saying because of the sheer size of it and the trajectory,
It's
seems
weird
to be that it wants to get into the interior of the solar system, from what I read.
Yeah.
Because I saw this too, and I thought, oh, I'm like, this quack is just. And then when they put it in their sciencey terms, you go, okay, maybe they're onto something.
They're saying it's not behaving as one would expect any other asteroid or just rock hurtling through the thing. The process, they say, by far the most likely outcome, according to NASA, is that 3I Atlas is completely natural, and the authors await the astronomical data to support this likely origin. NASA has responded in saying, nah, I don't think this is a hostile alien threat, and it'll come close to Earth, but by close to Earth they mean 170 million miles away. And they have no reason to think that it is anything other than that. But isn't that what you'd expect NASA to say?
Wouldn't it be something if this ended up, the entire thing just ended up being a marketing ploy from Alien Earth, now on FX?
Right. You know, it is one of these objects.
They orchestrated the whole thing.
Yeah, it is one of these objects that suddenly popped up, and we're doing everything we can to keep an eye on these things. We don't know where everything is in the solar system, and we don't want to be suddenly hit by something. That would suck. But
yeah, especially since Bruce Willis isn't readily available anymore to blow it up from the inside.
But when they're still debating as to whether or not this thing is 1,000 feet or 7 miles wide, I don't know that they've got this thing buttoned up like they think they do.
No. I'll start worrying closer to December.
Yeah. News from Chicago. There's a man trapped in the bean.
How the hell did they get in there? I didn't think there was a door. Well, I thought you took a picture outside of it.
Let's go to the protesters who are standing outside of the bean and telling exactly what's happening and how there is not just a man trapped in there, but he's been there all his life.
What?
There's a man trapped inside the bean. There's a man in there. There's a man in the bean. There is a man trapped inside the bean. We're calling for his immediate release, please. In 2004, Anish Kapoor, the chief architect of the bean, stole a baby and put that baby inside the bean. We are calling for the immediate release of the man trapped inside the bean. So please spread the good word. Follow us on Instagram, Man in Bean.
Folks, now's the time to get angry.
Yes, of course.
Don't be
We have to let you know there is a man trapped inside the bean.
Now is not the time.
You can see him? You see him?
If you look just right, when the sun hits the bean, you can see a faint outline of a man. There is a man trapped inside the bean. Please call this number. This is Brendan Riley, alderman of the 42nd Ward. He can free the man in the bean.
Woo!
Free him.
Yeah, woo.
Yeah.
This seems like This seems like a setup.
It does?
It seems like a TikTok protest setup. Seems like a TikTok trend or like a prank.
I will add that this protest broke out on the first day of Lollapalooza last week. But
okay.
now the local alderman, whose ward covers where Cloudgate is, if you want to be fancy and call it by its proper name, he weighed in, Brandon Riley, and said, "I'm happy to confirm that the man has not been trapped inside the bean for 21 years. In fact, the man was freed years ago. Further, we can neither confirm nor deny that Soldier Field is actually a flying saucer."
Oh, you can't make jokes. Leave the jokes to the
now I
comedians.
like the protesters.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. Leave the jokes to the comedians.
He does say that the online hoax has led to a heavy uptick in calls to my office. Unfortunately, answering the heavy volume of calls is ultimately a distraction from my office and the work we do for the 42nd Ward, and is asking people to stop asking about the man in the bean.
All right. Well, if the man in the bean gets out, we want first dibs on the interview with the man in the bean. What was it like in there for 21 years?
Absolutely. I might just walk down there myself and knock on it.
You should. Hey, man in the bean, got a microphone out here. You want to talk to us?
You know what? That's the kind of protesting I like, though. We need more of that.
Yes.
You know?
Just ridiculous kind of, there's a man in this bean.
That's right.
We should start one. There's a man inside Lincoln's grave in Springfield.
Oh, yes. That can only mean one thing. It is time for This Week in Slow-Mo.
My favorite part of the show.
Yes. Got a good one for you this week, Mike.
All right.
You see Granny there falling backward.
Oh, no. Yeah. I thought she was mad. I thought she was getting ready to throw whatever those limes or gourds are next to her at someone.
The issue is, as we get closer to the fall, canning season has begun. And I don't know the physics of canning, but I know it involves vacuums and lots of high pressure. And you got to boil it and then cool it and seal it up and everything. And if you're not careful, the thing may just blow on you.
Oh, jeez. Holy sh! Oh, no. Are you all right, Mama?
That's it. Yeah, it was fast.
Oh, it was fast.
And out of nowhere,
it's like she's taking uranium out of the core of the Back to the Future car.
Yeah, and I guess if you don't lower the temperature at the right amount, you risk these things just blowing up in your face. That's literally what happened to her.
Holy! I'm sorry. I just don't know the force of it. Seemed to more blow up than at her to send her back through a different camera angle. Like, I didn't think there was that much force.
Yeah.
She threw it through a different camera angle and then fell down.
Well, let's watch it in its agonizing slow-mo, and I think you'll appreciate what went horribly awry here.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, she gets a face full of hot tomato.
Hey, I know someone who licked that off of her. Hey, where's Freedom Rider when you need her?
So yeah, watch again as this thing just pelts her something fierce.
Oh. Yeah. Oof. Oh no. Oh. God bless. So it's the heat and the glass that's probably in her face that gets her to stumble back so much.
Yeah, that's not clear in the video as to whether or not the glass actually broke or if the top just flies off and clocks her. When I don't really know. It does look as though the top blows off and just sprays tomato all over
Sprays
the
her
place.
face with tomato. Oh, yeah, you're right.
So now we'll switch to the other camera angle here and watch her tumble backward again in agonizing slow-mo.
Why do we have two camera angles?
I'm not entirely sure. My guess is, because I couldn't find the original source material on this, but I think it's probably a wide camera of the entire kitchen, and somebody has cut it into two different angles.
Gotcha. Okay.
But they haven't zoomed in as closely as I've zoomed in, so just stand by.
Ah! Oh no, Mama. Oh. And then insult to injury, and then the brush falls on her. The poor lady's already had tomato blown in her face. She falls back, and then the brush falls, and her feet go up in the air.
It's her feet that kill me. It's her feet.
Mama.
Yeah. She comes
Well, thank God she was there.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Yeah, her daughter comes in like an action hero.
Right. Mama, you okay? Let's hope she was.
Yeah. That's it. So,
hope her
and
preserves
of course,
are all right. Oh, yes. I was going to say, where's Anguish Cam? Our new feature.
The newest element of This Week in Slow-Mo is the Anguish Cam, where we've zoomed in about as far as the computer will let me do, so that we can really appreciate how horrific this is.
Oh, Jesus.
See?
I noticed that a couple replays ago, and I was like, all of a sudden, the dramatic turn of like the ground squirrel or whatever, the dramatic groundhog, where it's like dun dun dun. Yikes! That is anguish indeed. What's going on over there?
Why? We can't even make out any features. Why is that so funny? Jesus.
It's hilarious. It's just the way she turns.
It is, yeah.
Oh. Poor, she doesn't know whether to put the glasses on or off on the Anguish Cam. Oh, I hope Margaret and Maud are okay over there.
Everybody's in pain.
Yes, and anguish.
But of course, let me just go back, because again, you go back to its original speed and you realize just how bananas this is.
Just her sound. It's as if a door just opened on an airplane and she's being sucked out into space.
Right.
Like, I didn't think it had much force. I guess as you get older, you're not as strong, but it didn't seem like it had that much force that would be her to go, ah, and just be thrown back like that.
You know what it reminds me of is that Warner Brothers sound effect when somebody would shake their head.
Yeah.
Yes, that's kind of what she does.
It is. Aye. Oh, Mama, I hope you're okay.
I hope she is too. But God, be careful when you're canning this season. That's nothing to mess with.
Cool it at the right temperature.
Yeah,
Don't. Yeah.
Gotta let that
be the
down
next
easy.
victim of Anguish Cam.
That's right.
No one wants that.
Oh man, knocks her right in her glasses.
Aye.
Good times. Thanks for that laugh.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Hope you're okay. have us over for tomato sauce or whatever it is you're making there.
Yeah, please send us a can. We'd love to try your preserves live
Pay
on
good money for
film
whatever that
on
was.
YouTube. That'd be awesome.
All right, kids, that's another week of our nonsense.
Please make sure to continue to like, share, subscribe, get the numbers up. We appreciate all the support. Find us on Facebook. We do the stream on YouTube, so look at the quickies. And don't forget the Twitch people. We haven't had a Twitch bot in a while. So Twitch, bot us up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Greg. That's a good way to end this.